welcome back. This is a video on my series Aging. So if you're interested in watching one of those videos, by all means stay tuned and we shall get into it. If you're not, by all means click out if this isn't for you. So thanks guys, and let's get talking. For those of you that are still here, today I'd like to discuss some of the physical and psychological changes that we go through as we age. Now, I'm not going to be discussing any particular facts that I've researched on the internet. I'm just going to be discussing things that I myself have noticed in either family members, relatives, friends, or myself. So that's what I'm going to be discussing today. So let's get to it, right? All right. So some of the physical changes that I've noticed within myself from age, say, 35 to even 40, I noticed that some of the physical changes that I went through were my hair texture has actually changed. Believe it or not, the physical changes in my hair. And I think this is, got to do with also, your hair is a part of everything internal, what you take into your body, and also what is going on inside your body. So I noticed that my hair had changed considerably in texture. My hair strands are now a lot finer and a lot more fragile. They are also more coarse. Even though they're thinner, they're more coarse. And so I get like this fuzzy thing going on where and like my baby hairs are real fine and fuzzy. And I think that has a lot to do with how our body is processing what we ingest. Of course, we should all be eating healthy, but who sticks to that rule? I don't know anybody that does. So, I'm guilty of eating things that I know are not good for me. And I don't think you're going to change that in people. So at any rate, I do know that a lot of it is just from things wearing out. The kidney, the livers, the things that process what you ingest. And so as things start to fail and not work as well as they did when you were younger, you're going to see physiological changes in your hair, your skin. It's just part of the aging process. With myself, the other thing that I've noticed is on top of gravity working on my face and literally pulling my face down, like now I have very hooded eyes. When I was younger, I had some hoodedness going on, but I didn't have, this whole skin fold that literally like falls down and sits right on top of my entire mobile lid. That wasn't ever a problem when I was younger. Although, I might have had a bit of hooding going on, I had to learn how to readjust applying my makeup. And for those of you that have been with me from the beginning, you know that I also give instruction on how to apply your makeup with very hooded eyelids such as mine. The other thing that I've noticed with my physical well-being is the early onset of osteoporosis and arthritis. Now, as a younger individual, I've done some very manually physical hard labor jobs, and of course that also plays into effect as to how early we see signs of this. I am 53 years old, and I can tell you that the osteoporosis that is going on with my spine is noticeable in x-rays. Also, I have noticed that the arthritis in my body is also developing bone spurs, which is another problem that happens to us as we age. Arthritis develops in most of our joint areas, and bones that are movable a lot, bones that are used a lot, and arthritis calcifies the bones and literally causes friction, which helps pinched nerves and things like that. It creates more pain. As we age, that continues to progress because they have not come up with any kind of solution as to stop that process. And as we get older, our bones also get more fragile and we bruise easier. I've noticed that I am definitely a lot more anemic now. And that's not because of medications that I'm taking. It's just a part of growing older. I was somewhat anemic on and off when I was younger, but now I notice that I am considerably more anemic, and it doesn't take a lot to bring that on. So those things are unstoppable. Those are things that we cannot change. So we have to learn how to adjust and manage the things that are happening to our physical body to help our psychological body push past what is happening and changing within our physical selves. And I can tell you that from somebody who was very physically active most of my life, finding out that there's a whole bunch of things that you can no longer do because your body can't physically do it is very, very devastating. And you have to learn how to cope with that as an older individual. Some of us will literally shut down and become antisocial, as it were, and not try to continue to do things that we love and enjoy. Now, that's good and bad. In a way that it's good is that you're not overdoing it and creating more damage to yourself, but also in a way it's bad because shutting down emotionally and cutting yourself off from things that you enjoy is not a good thing. There is other ways that you can enjoy things without having to put your body through the physical stress that you did when you were younger. So we have to come up with new coping mechanisms and coping skills to be able to push past our basically, let's say, disabilities, because that's literally what happens as we age. We find ourselves disabled in a lot of areas. So for those of you that don't know and don't understand about aging, which is something that happens to every single one of us, we all age. Every day we get older. Every day, every minute, every hour, we age. And as we are going through this, many people do not understand or don't take the time to understand that these physiological changes, these psychological changes have effects on not only ourselves, but our family members, loved ones, friendships. I mean, it affects every aspect of our social being. So, and I think, those are things that we all need to really talk about and discuss. I know myself, what I go through, and I know sometimes that for me, one of my coping mechanisms, and I'm not saying this is a correct coping mechanism because I don't feel that it is, but one of my coping mechanisms, which you will see a lot of people do this exact same thing, is I tend to close myself off from any kind of social situations because I don't want people to see that I am not the same physical being that I once was. I try to hide that, and I don't think that's a good coping mechanism. And I believe that stems from a long line of things of why I do things the way that I do things. From years ago, we learn coping skills as we grow, and this has become a coping skill for me. I don't think it's a healthy coping skill because not being social and not interacting with other individuals is I don't think healthy. I think we all need to stay social so that we feel we're all a part of something versus separating ourselves away from things and kind of pulling away. And that has always been my coping mechanism, is pulling away and closing off and not letting people see, and because I feel like it shows I have some kind of weakness or something. And I know that's not correct thinking. I know that's not correct thinking. And I think it's about time that society understands that this is how many people handle things. And as we age, I think this becomes a bigger and bigger issue. So I would love it if you guys, anybody, would suggest ways or ideas on better coping mechanisms versus just shutting down, closing off, because I don't think these are healthy solutions. I know they're not healthy solutions, and I know I'm not the only one that suffers through this. So, and there's many of you that are going to be going through this yourselves. I'm not saying necessarily the psychological part, but the physiological part, the physical self. You will age and you will go through these experiences just like all of us do, because that is the human ride we are all on. So I think it's about time we start talking about these things and tossing around ideas and concepts and sharing our feelings with one another so that we all understand that we are not alone. This is not something that just happens to one of us. It happens to all of us. Although there's different aspects of how it happens to us, aging does affect all of us. So if you guys like this series, by all means, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. If you'd like to talk about your aging process, if you have any ideas on ways to cope better, please list them down below. I would love to hear what you have to say. I'd love to be able to share with you guys. That's what this is all about. I'm not, anybody special. I'm just a human being, and we are all on this boat called Earth. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Love to hear what you have to say, and I'll be looking forward to that. Excited to see what you guys have to say. And as always, love yourselves and be kind to others. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.